Well, even though it's the tail end of August, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Good morning, everybody. It's Stephen here for Bland Designs and the Idiot Quilter, and welcome to my weekly vlog for Monday, August the 23rd, 2021, vlog number 230, and it's the 530th day of COVID. And I'm using a different sound system today, and I hope this works out all right. If you remember last week, I did my whole recording, and when I went to compile it, I found that my microphone did not work. So I had to redo it all over again. Well, I've been experimenting with my microphone, and I thought I had it fixed. I thought it was a battery problem. Turns out it wasn't a battery problem. This is the second microphone of that type that I have had and have had fail after a certain amount of time. And well, I won't be buying any more of those because they're just, well, they were cheap to buy, and I guess you get what you pay for. So I've been doing some experimenting, and I'm using my Yeti microphone right now. Now, my Yeti microphone was an expensive microphone, and I usually reserve it for doing Zoom calls in my sewing room. It hangs up in the rafters, and it's got really good pickup. But I decided to take it down from the rafters and see if I could get it to work with the iPad. And that's what I'm using right now, and I'm hoping that it's going to work out all right. Also, you may have noticed, I think I cut them out, but you may have noticed I was doing a lot of this down here and looking at you, just saying nothing. It's because I've got a remote little device, again, something that I bought from Amazon that was not that expensive, to basically turn off and turn on the iPad when I do the different segments. Well, it hasn't been working either. I think the problem with it is a battery problem too. But I actually have two of these, and I couldn't figure out how to get the other one that wasn't working properly open to put the battery in. I'll play around with that later. I'm sure I can figure it out later on. So I pulled out a new one, and I'm hoping this one works today. So if you see me doing this in space, you know it's not working properly. Okay, so enough about my technical woes. Let's take a look at what's behind me right now. This is my latest project. This is a Christmas quilt. Duh. Yeah, it's only August, but you know, I'm trying to get ahead of my Christmas gifts. This is going to be, I think, for my hairdresser. It is a very busy quilt. I started out with a pattern, like a purchase pattern, but as I got going with that, I really didn't like it, so I changed it a lot, and now it's my own kind of pattern here. You might think, well, wow, that's really kind of busy. It is, but I have a philosophy when it comes to using Christmas fabric. More is more. So, you know, I'm making it out of as many Christmas fabrics as I can. Because really, after I'm finished making Christmas projects, whatever I have left of Christmas fabric just goes into my drawer and it doesn't come out for another year. And I do like to work with Christmas fabrics. So this is the top. It has not been layered, it has not been quilted. I may get to the quilting a little later this week. I have to think about what I'm going to put as the backing fabric. I don't think I have anything quite wide enough to cover this. This is not a huge quilt. This is only maybe about 52 inches square. A good size for a lap. And that's what I intended it to be. And so I may have to do some piecing for the backing fabric. But I'll talk more about that procedure probably tomorrow on the Idiot Quilter. But for now, one thing I want to point out to you. It's hard to see on the camera, but this is actually an embroidered piece that I appliqued right here into the center square, because the center square looked a little stark. It's pretty fabric, poinsettias and that kind of thing, and the fabric that's in this square is the same fabric that's on these wider borders on the outside. Yeah, I should stand back. That gives you a little better view of it. But I did do that, and I'm really proud of myself as to how I got this applique on it. I decided to put a border on it. Again, hard to see in the video, but there is a black satin stitch circular border all the way around, and I used my circular sewing tool to do that, and also to adhere it to the quilt. And that is something I'll probably discuss in more detail on the Idiot Quilter tomorrow, because that is a great little tool. And I have reviewed it before on the Idiot Quilter, but now I'm going to show a practical use for it. Okay, but that's on the Idiot Quilter. Teaser for you, if you're teased. Maybe you're not. Okay, so I have finished my Elegant Santa table toppers. Here's one of the 4 that I have made. They are all quilted now. Now I know the quilting is hard to see, but if you look up here in this red corner, you get an idea of what I did. And you're probably wondering how I got that kind of design. Again, I'm going to talk about that in the Idiot Quilter tomorrow. And I'm not just teasing you. I know that some of you are not sewers, so that will have very little interest for you. But I've got those all made, and so I'm getting ahead of my Christmas sewing, and it's not the end of August yet. My goal is before September 1st to have the bulk of my Christmas things done, and then I can get started on my Halloween quilt. And I'm going to talk more about that in a moment. Okay, so that takes us to the YouTube channel of the week, and I'm always looking for new YouTube channels to keep me amused, and ones that I think will keep you amused as well. I mean, YouTube, we all know, is just a wealth of entertainment, really. I mean, you can go down the rabbit hole, and I usually do. I get started on YouTube, and I'm just randomly going through to see what's come up, what they are, and I do discover some very interesting YouTube channels. Some of them I'll subscribe to. I think I subscribe to over 300 or 400 YouTube channels now. I purposely don't put the notification bell on some of those, because I'd be like, every day I would have literally hundreds of notifications, and one can't just keep up with that. But in my exploration of YouTube channels, I found this one. It's called Techo, not techno, but Techo, T-E-C-H-O, New Technology. And basically it is a series of videos showing you how big industrial machines create food or process the food that comes to our tables, from the source right through to when it's been packaged. And I find these kind of videos fascinating because, you know, I have a fascination with machines. I can watch these for hours because I do find it fascinating. So anyways, here's my review of one of those particular channels.
This week's YouTube channel of the week is called Techo New Technology. I came across this just by accident, and I was curious to see what it was all about. And their list of videos are basically, well, not basically, but are based upon how things are made. There used to be an old television show that I used to like to watch called How It's Made, and this is somewhat on a similar line. This one shows you how food production and, well, mostly food production, I think, is manufactured. It gives you quite a lot of insight into how our food gets from the farm to our table. It's really quite fascinating to watch. There isn't really any commentary in here. It's just a series of clips taking you through the process for how something is made. As you can see, there is a great variety of videos for this. So if you are fascinated by machines like I am, then you'll probably find this very fascinating. There's something satisfying about watching the production line go from the raw materials to the finished product that goes on our table. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, check out Techo New Technology.
So the link for that YouTube channel is in the show notes below. There's a link for Stephen and Walter Live. We had a variety of topics yesterday, but sorry to say that once again, we did focus a fair amount on COVID, but from the point of view of common sense, because that's really what I called or entitled our Stephen and Walter Live, Common Sense Not. Because it's come to my attention, really, that everything that our so-called leaders and other people that we should be looking towards for leadership through this time just aren't using common sense. Even the average person is not using common sense right now, and I can't believe that people have lost their wits on all these things. So we talked about that along with some other things on Stephen and Walter Live yesterday, so you can check that out. There is a link to last week's Idiot Quilter, and I talked in that one during the demo session how you can mark rulers so they're easier to, well, when you're cutting fabric, so it's easier to see where you need to cut. And the So Chatty was on the psychology of fabric. I'm using psychology in a very loose way in that title, but we basically talked about what it is about what we look for when we're buying fabrics, how we store them. It's a bit of a mishmash, but then so's our fabric collections. So that's there for you as well. And we have the latest interview. This is with Brenda Logan. Very interesting lady, very interesting interview, so you can check that out. And I am now out of interview people. Well, that's not true. I just got contacted yesterday by a local person that I recently discovered her YouTube channel, and I'm going to be interviewing her later in the week, but it won't be done in time to put it up this week, so it'll come up next week. But as I've said, I'm looking for people to interview. I want to interview people who subscribe or are regular viewers of my channels. So don't be shy. Let me know. Send me an email or put a comment below, and I'd love to interview you. And I promise you I don't bite unless you want me to. Okay, so what's pissing me off this week? Well, this isn't really pissing me off, but I felt that I need to talk about this a little bit because I think there's people out there just don't know about this. And you'll often hear me say, and you'll hear other YouTube creators say, just put a comment or write a comment, something like that, in the comment space under a YouTube presentation. And that's great. I love the comments. I read them. I read them all. In fact, I have my system set up so that as soon as someone writes me a comment in any of my videos, I get a notification about that through my email. Now, I want you to understand, and I don't want you to find this as criticism, because what I'm saying is really to help you out. But I get some really weird, I was actually going to use the word stupid, but that's kind of insulting, weird comments. It's something you have to understand about being a creator if you aren't one. If you are a creator, you know this already. People will just randomly write you a comment about one of your videos and you haven't got a clue what they're talking about. I got a comment the other day, which is actually a typical example of some of the comments I get. This is not just isolated to one person. I've had this many times where they go, "Hi." That's it. Okay, well, nice of you to greet me. Hi. Or some will write hi and write a couple of sentences that suggest they think I am present. Meaning, and this happens a lot with Stephen and Walter Live, we'll get a comment like they think we are live when they see the video. We are not. That's the replay. And some people get a little angry because we don't answer back. Well, we can't answer back because we're not live. Now, I can see the confusion. It comes up, it says it was live, but if you read the fine print, you'll see a date on that. And if it's not the same day as you're on there, then it's probably not live. You'll also know that it's live because you can see off to the one side a comment list. Okay, now that might be confusing. If you're on a device that shows the comment column while it's live, you will see them scroll by because it records that. And yes, okay, that looks like we're live at that point in time. But we're not. If you come across our video and it doesn't say that it's live, if you can't fast forward through the video, then if you can't fast forward through the video, then it means we are live. If you can fast forward through it, we're not live. It's the replay. So, I appreciate people reaching out and saying, hi, that's nice. But I'm confused then. Do you think I'm actually there or what? That's one kind of comment. There's other ones that just don't make sense. Now, you have to understand, I have over 700 or 800 videos on YouTube. And there are other creators out there that have many, many more than that. And so you say, you write a comment under one of those videos. I had one the other day, someone wrote it under one of the Idiot Quilter ones. It was one I did early on. I think it was like episode number 32 or something like that. I'm well over 100 episodes of the Idiot Quilter now. And it was like we were in the middle of a conversation. They said something, they made a comment. I agree with that completely. There's a comment like that. Well, I'm happy you agree with it completely. What are you agreeing to? I don't know. My memory isn't that great. I can't remember what I said in every one of my videos that I make. Basically, I don't keep notes. I have notes. I have a plan. This is my outline of what I'm going to talk about today. And I actually keep these up to a point until the binder gets full, and then I throw them out because I never go back to them again. But they don't capture the details of what I have said. They're just an outline of my topics. So when you make a comment there and you don't put it in context, I have no idea what you're talking about. So, unfortunately, I don't react. I don't bother to reply to the comment because I don't know what you're talking about. You have to give me context. You know, you might say, oh, in that part of the video where you discussed how to thread your needle, I was wondering if, okay, that gives me context. So I can go back, review that piece, know what you're talking about, and help you out with an answer to your question, if it is a question. But you have to think about that. Some people, I think that I remember every little detail of every one of my hundreds and hundreds of videos. I've been making videos for quite a few years now. I have no idea what I had for breakfast this morning, let alone remember what I wrote back in 2016. So please give me some context with that. The other thing that some people do when it comes to comment writing is they'll how do I put this gently? They're critical. They make offhand comment. Now, the thing is this, it may not be a bad comment, but it comes across in the way that it's written as a severe criticism. Yes, as a creator, I leave myself open to criticism. However, if the criticism is not constructive, if it's not meant there to help me out or to clarify a situation or something, I will, depending on how it's worded, delete it. So if you've ever written one of those comments and you don't see it, that's why. I won't respond to those kind of comments, nasty comments. Now, I'm very happy to say I've had very few nasty comments since I started making videos. So, that says something about the community. Just because you're on the other side of the computer doesn't give you a right to make nasty comments to creators, no matter how you feel about the creator. If you are so upset by what a creator has said or what their channel might be about, don't watch it. Don't subscribe to it. It's as simple as that, really. I know I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and there are times that somebody will say something on a YouTube channel that gets my goat. My first reaction is I want to lash out at them. I'm only human, okay? We all have that. But I hold back because I look at it and think, well, what's the point? Why am I bothering? This person, obviously, in my definition of human behavior, is being very negative, is not somebody I want to go out and have lunch with or a drink. So I just don't bother to check out their channel anymore. That's my prerogative. That's the prerogative of any viewer. You have the control. But you need to have some control. By lashing out at a creator, no matter what it is that they have said, is not a positive thing. It's not going to give you any kind of satisfaction at all. And the creator is going to either just ignore you, or if you're baiting them, and I hope you're not doing this, they may lash back out at you. Well, what's the point? Waste of time, waste of energy. It's not worth it. So be careful with the way you word your comments. If it is a constructive criticism, that is fine, because I encourage that. Also, but choose your language. Choose your words, okay? Because when you can't see the person when they're writing the comment, you don't have the visual cues that our faces give when we mean something. You know, when people are being sarcastic, you usually know that if you're physically in their presence, because you can read it in their eyes, in their face, that kind of thing. But when it's just words, you haven't any of that contextual cluing. So choose your words carefully with that. The other thing I want to say about negative comments and things like that, there are individuals out there who just enjoy being that way. I don't understand why. I just have to say that I feel sorry for them, that they don't have a great life and this is their way of coping. It's not the best way to cope, but there you go. But as a content creator, I can control that as well. Now, there are times when I don't see a comment. For some reason, and I've never figured this out why, there is a holding tank for certain comments. I don't know if it keys in on something YouTube has put into their programming, into the algorithm, that finds some keywords and decides that this is something they don't want up on their channel. So they put it in a little holding area on my channel. And I forget to look at those at times. So I am sorry if you had something there and I didn't respond to it. I have to make a point of remembering to check out that little holding area. And then I have the choice to whether approve it and it goes into the public forum or not. So, you know, you should be aware of that. If you're not a creator, you probably wouldn't know about that situation. You need to look at things from a creator's point of view as well. If I do get criticism, oftentimes the criticism is on the quality of a particular video. Now, I told you already this morning, I was not happy with the sound. I was having a big problem with it. I was listening back, I always review, actually after the fact, after they've gone up online, I review my videos just to see if there's any problems with them or whatever. And I haven't been really happy with my sound quality lately. And again, that's probably because of that cheap microphone that I was using. That's why I'm using the Yeti. And I'm hoping this is going to be better. If you don't know what a Yeti is, this is a Yeti. I think there's a reason why they call it a Yeti. So I am trying to improve that. I'm also trying to improve the quality of the visuals in the video as well. Now, I don't do editing, as you know. And I don't have a lot of fancy things that come across the screen. There are many people, creators, who do that. They're very entertaining, but they love doing that. That's what they do. For them, editing videos is fun. I don't like editing videos, so I do a minimal amount of editing. But I'm always hoping that the quality will be good. And, you know, the equipment that I have is not elaborate for making these videos. This one's being done on an iPad, on a tripod right now. When we do Stephen and Walter Live, that's done on a webcam, which I'm not that happy with the quality of the video. I said to Walter last night, got to do something about that. So each of my videos on my channel, each of my different sections are recorded in a slightly different manner. When I do Idiot Quilter ones, for example, I'm in a different location in my house and I have a different setup. I use my iPhone with that and wireless microphone. It is quirky how these things work. So as a creator, I appreciate it when people point out something I may have missed in the quality, but I can't do much about it with what I've got, but I will try. But don't get real hot and bothered with me. Remember, what you pay nothing to a creator for these videos. This is free, okay? And it does cost us in terms of time and investment in equipment to make them, but they are a hobby. At least for me, it's a hobby, so I enjoy doing them, so that's okay. Others do it as a business, and that's why the quality of their videos may be a lot better, because they invest in very expensive lighting and the whole bit. I do have lighting for this one. It's cheap lighting, but I have lighting. And it's better than if you go back to some of my older ones, like some a year ago or more. You will see the difference in the lighting. So I'm constantly trying to improve the quality of the videos. But what I don't need to hear is somebody complaining about it. And a lot of times it's not a problem at the creator end, it's a problem at the viewer end. For example, on lives, we've all been there. We see buffering happening. That is not necessarily the fault of the creator. There are so many things that affect how the video is transmitted across the internet. I just recently, as you know, invested in a very high speed internet service. And this is what I'm saying. These things are not free for us as creators. We have to pay for equipment, and part of that is including the price of our internet connection. But 9 times out of 10, if there's a buffering problem, it isn't at the source with the creator. It's at the source of the viewer. The viewer's internet connection may be really crappy. They may not have the speed. Their equipment might not be the best in terms of, the visual quality or the sound quality. So before you lash out at a creator for this kind of thing, check your own equipment first. Now, sometimes it is a problem at the creator end. I mean, if you remember way back, those of you that follow Stephen and Walter Live, for a long time, we did Stephen and Walter Live from our kitchen. And we did it with an iPhone. But we were having buffering problems at that point and some other problems. So we have moved now to a little bit more sophisticated system for Stephen and Walter Live in my craft room using a laptop and using OBS, which is a software program. And the more elaborate the equipment, the more things that can go wrong. So, and I'm still playing with that program, and I talked a little bit about that and about the Yeti as well, because I'm using that now, or trying to get better quality of sound. I think I've got that down now. Now I've got to work on the quality of the video. So creators are constantly trying to improve. But nothing gets a creator's goat more than if you make a offhand remark that is a negative. Okay? Creators are pretty much aware of what they are doing. Again, I go back to the whole idea. If you have something critical to say, make sure it's said in a constructive manner. Or just don't say it. Just don't watch. Really. So, I'm not pissed off at this. I understand what's happening here. I just want you to understand. Do I reply to all comments? No, I do not. I mean, what am I going to say when somebody goes, "Hi, thanks for the video"? You're welcome. I figure that's understood. I like those comments. They make me feel like I'm doing something that was useful to you. Ones that have a question, a serious question about something, I will try to answer it to the best of my ability. So, work with me, not against me. Now, as I said, this is a sort of a global kind of thing I'm talking about here. 9 times out of 10, any comments that I have are positive and friendly and meant to add to the knowledge base. I get very, very few negative, destructive comments, and I'm happy about that, so thank you for that. Okay, let's move on to product review. So I bought something, and they're called smart plugs. Now, I've had these before, and I need it more. Basically, they are taking advantage of your Wi-Fi system in your house and your iPhone, and you can set them up so they can turn on things and turn things off, either automatically, there's a timer function in them, or you can do it from your phone. So, for example, I have some lights that LED lights that I installed on my two 3D printers, and I can control them from my iPhone. I need a little bit more light. At Christmas time, I can use these smart plugs to plug in, Christmas lights around the house, but set them on a timer so that they'll come on or go off when I want them to, and that kind of thing. They are not expensive. You can get them on Amazon, and if you give me just a second, I didn't grab them. I'll show you what they look like. Okay, so they are called Go Sound, but it's spelled GOSUND, Smart Plug. You get a box of 4 of these. Oops, get the glare off. Okay, this is something I have to work on, is how do I get rid of glare? Anyways, this is what they look like. And they're 3 prongers, and you just plug them into your receptacle, and then plug in your device into these, and away you go. And there's a button on the side for turning them on and off manually, but you need this button, and the instructions come in the box that show you how to make them connect to your Wi-Fi system. Now, I have to admit that their way of doing it, the automatic way, doesn't always work, but there is a workaround with that. There's a manual setup, and you just have to be patient with it. But once you get them working, they work very well. And they're not that expensive. You get 4 in a box. This is on Amazon, and I think they were $35, I think, with tax, that kind of thing. Canadian, I'm talking about. There are other types you can get as well, but these ones I found for the price were a pretty good deal, and they work pretty well once you get them set up. But as I said, they're a little bit fussy about the way you set them up. But I love them. So I have quite a few of these, and as I said, at Christmas time, especially with lights around the house, for decorations, I set those all up on their little timer feature, and it works really well. Okay, so that's one thing that I purchased this week, and looking here at my notes. Okay, I have some fabric that I bought, and I'm going to go over this fabric in much more detail tomorrow. But there's a line of fabric that I saw, and I went in to see Shirley if she had it. She didn't, but she had never seen it before. And it's from Northcott, which is a Canadian manufacturer of fabric. And I love Northcott's fabrics. And this is called Luster, I think. And so I bought 3 in the series. She didn't get that much of it in. I think there was 4 different colorways in this series that she got. There's a lot more of them, and I may go online and order some more of this, but it's really quite pretty, especially this one. This is the one that caught my attention first, and then I got matching ones. Now again, I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it's pretty. I buy it because it's pretty. I also, while I was in the store, didn't intend to buy any of it, but this is Tim Holtz's Abandoned line, and I have some of his other ones as well, and I love the color palette in that. And of course I had to buy some Halloween fabric because I already have some Halloween fabric, and I have a panel that I want to make into probably a wall hanging for Halloween. I don't usually decorate for Halloween, and having said that, right now I'm lying, because last year I did, because I made things. And this year I've got more things that I'm making. So I'm kind of getting into this Halloween thing for decorating. But I bought some, printed fabric with pumpkins on it. And this one has black cats and pumpkins on it with a purple background. Now, this is purple. And I showed this yesterday at Stephen and Walter Live, and it looked like a royal blue, somebody said. And that's true. This is weird because the colors right now are pretty true. This is the color of my shirt. That is the color of the quilt. Maybe a little touch darker. But for some reason, the purple in this, well, the purple's not bad, but it's not, it looks more like blue than purple. But anyways, it's fun. And there was some more of the Tim Holtz, and I actually bought this to work with. I thought this would work with the Halloween quilt that I'm thinking about doing, or wall hanging, I mean. So I got that, and then I don't usually buy books or magazines about quilting because I find, unless there's something in it I really want to make, but I needed some ideas for what I can do with this panel. So I bought this book, and I've been looking through it, and I've got a page mark, and tomorrow in the Quilter I'll talk about what my plans are for that in a little bit more detail. So bought that, and I bought some miscellaneous things for my 3D printers and that, which you wouldn't be interested in. They're just parts and things like that. Okay, so let's see, what's that take us to? Oh, speaking of 3D printers, the 3D printer corner right now. I think I've shown you these before, but here's another one. I did them in rainbow. This is Santa pincushion. I'm really happy with the way these are turning out. And these are going to go, the Santa ones are going to go with the table topper, what I call Elegant Santa, that I showed you earlier. That's all going to be part of my little gift package that I have for certain people. Along with the gnome table toppers, I have the gnome ones, and I've shown the gnome pin cushions to you before. I've also been working on more Tudor house pieces. Now, this one has taken 3 days to print. It's in 3 sections. Oh wow, the glare is really bad. I wonder if I can do anything about that. Oh no, that makes, oh wait, let me make it better. Give me a second here. I'm talking about quality of video. No, that just makes it worse. Okay, maybe if I move back a bit. Well, you get the idea. There it is. This is all done in white, but it would be painted. That's a little better. I have one slight problem though. When this has been printing through the night for 3 nights, and it's in 3 sections, this section comes off, you see. I'll glue that down, but for now I'm leaving it that way because it makes it easier painting. I have a hole in my roof. Why? This is not supposed to be this way. This is supposed to have a peak to it. Well, sometime in the night I ran out of filament. And of course, my machine is not that intelligent. It doesn't know to shut down or to pause so you can put in more filament. And I don't have a filament sensor in it. You can get such a thing. I may have to investigate into one of those. So now I have to figure out whether I can actually get it to print the next part of this, and I'll glue it on, if I can design that somehow, or I have to start from scratch, at least for this piece. I have a feeling I'll have to start from scratch because I just ran out of filament off the roll. It figures. You know, I was playing filament roulette anyways because I looked at it before I started it and says, do I have enough? And it's a bit of a guess, and I thought, no, I think I can do it. Yeah, I was wrong. So anyways, I will fix that problem up later. But that's one of another Tudor house. And I have a little display now of my Tudor houses, and I put some lights in around them too. Which, those little fairy lights, which I'm not sure if I like the look or not. I might investigate some other types of lights. You might say, why am I making these? Because I can. I have an affinity for little houses and things like that. I have a whole thing up in my dining room that's actually not 3D printed. They are actually ceramic. They're called Department 56 houses. I used to collect those years ago. I don't have a lot, but I have enough that creates a little village display. People think it's a Christmas village. Yes, there are Christmas elements in it. There's a Christmas tree and there's a little nativity scene and stuff like that. But I don't take it down and put it up every year. It stays up all year round. And it sometimes has its own natural snow, commonly referred to as dust, to it. So when I start seeing that, when I can start making snow angels on the buffet, I know it's time to, disassemble everything, give everything a good dusting and put it back together again. But that's a bitch. That's a half-day job to do that. So it doesn't happen. Well, it hasn't happened in a long time. I kind of go over and lightly blow the dust away. Luckily, I don't have that dusty a house. But anyways, I digress. And then I bought some hardened steel nozzles for my 3D printer. Those of you that 3D print know what I'm talking about. And if you don't 3D print, you might as well fast forward because this won't make any sense to you. But basically, these are supposed to be better. They last a lot longer. So we'll see. I got some of those, and I got some special tools for installing them as well. And I am working on... I'm going to talk about this in a minute, but I have been asked again, Walter and I have been asked again to help with the planning for a sewing retreat put on by Ultimate Sewing. It won't happen until March, if it happens. but they are doing some preliminary planning now, and we've helped them out before. So I got thinking, I have an idea for a little contest, and I thought there should be a prize, a trophy for winning this friendly little contest. So I have designed this. Now, I did not design the parts. I put parts together from existing designs to create this little trophy. Now, this one is a prototype. I'm improving on this one because this one didn't work out exactly the way I wanted to, because this piece on the front of it, I actually had to print separately and glue. But I now know how to fuse parts together. So I'm working on a slightly modified design of this. And well, I started printing it out the other day and I had a little problem. There's something called supports, and the supports did not support, and so things fell apart. So later today I have to sort of redesign this and see what I can do. So that takes us, that's all about 3D printing, you'll be happy to know. And now we can move on to a blast from the past in my series of travel videos of our experiences in Australia. And this week's video is about the Gold Coast. So I'm going to insert that here. Anyways, we have finally got on to the highway to the Gold Coast. Now, of course, this is where Walter tries to scrape me off like he did last year on the left-hand side. And I have to keep saying, you're drifting, you're drifting. It'll take a little while for him to probably get used to this. And of course, once again, every time he turns on the signals, the wipers go off. But, well, you're catching on to it faster. Last time I always knew when you were going to signal because the wipers went off. Because they're on the opposite side of the column than from what we're used to in North America. Anyways, it's going to take a little time to get accustomed to how we drive over here again. But I'm sure he'll be doing it like a pro very soon. Right now he's clenched to that gear thing like we're about to go into space, but better safe than sorry. So, another adventure today, and we'll see what this all leads us to. Okay, so we've now made it to the Gold Coast. It's our bathroom. Walter's in there now. Yes, I've got both bottles of wine are in the fridge, which we have a fridge. We have a sink, stove. This is the same hotel, Meriton, that we stayed in Brisbane. That's it, Brisbane. Had to think about that. It's only been a couple of hours, but yeah, had to think about that. This one has a balcony though, which is very nice. And we have, as you can see, an ocean view.
This is a studio instead of a one bedroom.
This is a studio instead of a one bedroom. So you see it's all one room, but that's no problem. It's fine by us. And yeah, all the amenities that we need, and a television, the whole bit. So we've just got unpacked, and now we're going to do some wandering. And we're here what? How many nights
3
here?
nights.
We're here 3 nights?
Yeah.
So what? This is the 24th, so what? We leave on the
27th.
26th? No. So we must leave on the 27th, yeah. Well, I looked at the way you planned the itinerary out, and it said the 26th was there, so I have to figure out what you meant.
26th is the last night you're staying.
Okay, so fine. So this is, what day of the week is this? I've lost track. Sunday.
Yeah.
This is Sunday. So we're leaving here, well, we're leaving Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, anyways, we'll see what's happening. And we'll see how fast the internet speed here is, but Walter said it's about the same as the other place. So, okay, let's go on. And this is a shot from our balcony. There's a pool down there. And it is quite warm. Not sure what the temperature is right now. Check that later. So, we're looking for a place for lunch here on the Gold Coast. And when you say the Gold Coast, I was thinking that was just an expression for, you know, beach area, but it's actually a place. It's called the Gold Coast. And you can see it's very modern. In some ways, it reminds me, but that might be because of the old people on the streets, of Fort Lauderdale, except a lot cleaner.
Well, we're actually in the more relaxed area, the more Trent area is further down that way.
Well, anyways, we're going to take a walk down, see if we can find some place for lunch. Prices here are not cheap because this is a tourist place. But so we found a place to eat. It's called the Loose Moose. Not particularly cheap. Burgers and things, and beer. So here's another part of where we are, Gold Coast. We're heading down to the more, I don't know, where are we heading?
Heading to where it's a little bit more busy, I guess.
Oh, because we're up sort of in the more beachy area, trendier area maybe, I don't know what it is. I guess we'll find out as we walk.
In the quiet area.
Oh, what that is, or this what?
Where we are.
Oh, well, we'll soon find out. Another part of the Gold Coast. Look up. Look way up.
We can go either way. I think we go this way.
Well, you might be able to. And there in the distance, you can see there's Florida. And over here, we have Hawaii. And apparently there's some area down here called Miami.
No, it's the other way.
Oh, it's the other way. Well, there's a Miami here. Okay, so we went up the tallest residential building here in where are we? Gold Coast. Yeah, I know. I want to call it Golden Girls or something, but whatever. So we're up here, and you get a spectacular view of the city and of the beach.
저기 보시면 건설하고 아파트가 저거야. 까만 것 중에 있어 앞쪽에. 그다음에 아름다운 해안 도시로 갈 수 있는 데가 아래 테라스동이 보이죠.
A place called Long Beach.
Longboards.
Or Longboard, sorry. Long Beach, Longboard, whatever, something long. It's attached to this hotel, which is cool. And there we have the Pacific Ocean.
Actually, technically, that's not the Pacific Ocean.
Technically, what is it?
It's the, what's that one that we crossed that was all violent? Tasman Sea.
Oh, that's the Tasman Sea? Eventually becomes the Pacific Ocean. I stand corrected. This is not the Tasman Sea. This is the Coral Sea. You can see all the condos and places built up along the beach here. So, after an epic walk to the other end of the Gold Coast, it seems, or the Gold Coast, we've made it back drinking some water at the moment, some sparkling water, because our little calves are moo-mooing and they need moisture. So it takes us to events in the past week. My mother's doing okay. It's a bit of a roller coaster ride. Last week, I talked about the fact that she had to go into the hospital for a few hours. They put her on oxygen. She has non-viral pneumonia, and they've got her on antibiotics. And I talked to her on FaceTime on Tuesday, and she was still hooked up to... No, she wasn't hooked up to the oxygen, but she was in bed. But she seemed much better. She seemed a little livelier, better color in her face, and she seemed to be very coherent. So I thought, okay, things are working out well. On Wednesday, I got a call from one of the staff members who said, I have good news for you. Usually when they call me, it's not necessarily good news, but said that my mother was up and about. She was dressed in her wheelchair out in the lounge, socializing a little bit. Eating better, not throwing up, still on antibiotics, of course, but not on oxygen. I thought, wow, what a transformation. This is great. I was very happy about that. My sister went in to see her physically on Thursday with my nephew and said, yeah, she was in bed with oxygen. And I went, oh, here we go again. But the lunch lady came in while my sister was there and asked my mother what she'd like for lunch. They had a choice between a sandwich or pierogies, and my mother just, she'd have the pierogies. My mother loves pierogies. So my sister said, she was coherent and everything. She seemed to be with it and really perked up when she heard there were pierogies for lunch. So, again, we're on a roller coaster with my mother. We don't know. She has good days, she has bad days. I guess that happens with people her age. And it certainly puts me on an emotional roller coaster, I can tell you that, but I just have to accept it. It's just the way it is. So be thankful for those days that are good and, be concerned on the days that aren't so good, but hope for the best. So, yeah. So right now my mother is doing what my mother does. What more can I say? Okay. We didn't really do a heck of a lot last week. I worked on that quilt. Walter did his little things that he does and whatnot. We didn't go really anywhere because we don't. So yeah. So I guess the highlight of the week was Walter deboning chicken thighs. Yeah, I do have a video of that. I'm going to put it in here right now for you. So today on Wally Cooks, something a little different. Chicken thighs are on sale. So we use a lot of chicken thighs when we make Indian food and some other things. And they were on sale, but they have bone in. We usually buy boneless. So what are you doing, Walter, to the chicken thighs?
I'm deboning them.
And how do you do that?
There's a center bone. I'm skinning them and taking the center bone out, and that's it.
So are you taking the skin off them too?
Yeah, I am too.
So they'll be skinless and boneless. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess at $1.80, what was it, $1.88 a pound?
$1.98 a pound, yeah.
$1.98 a pound. So Usually, if you get the boneless, skinless chicken thighs, they used to be cheap, but now they've gone up in price. So what did we pay for?
They're run around. Sometimes they go on sale, but lately they've been running around $6 or $7 a pound.
So it used to be really cheap chicken meat, but now they've gotten very popular. I wonder if that's because we have a lot of different ethnicities in Canada, and a lot of the Middle Eastern and the Indian population, they use chicken thighs a lot in their cooking. I wonder if that's what's made the price go up, because they weren't something when I grew up as a kid that we ate.
Well, my mom always used to just buy a whole chicken and cook it, right? And she would chop it up and cook it, right? But nowadays, a lot of people seem to be picky about their chicken when they only want white meat or something like that.
Well, my mother would do whole chickens, but she didn't cut them up. She roasted them.
Well, my mom was old school. She used to cut them up and do them in a frying pan.
No, my mother actually stayed away from frying anything because she's always afraid that she'd have a fire.
No, it wasn't deep frying. It was in the frying pan. She would just roast it in the frying pan.
Oh, roasted in a frying pan.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because Dutch people in the old days, where my parents came from, they didn't have ovens. They did everything on top of the stove.
Oh. Yeah, that's interesting. But actually, I prefer chicken thighs now in most things. When you cook them in something that's got a sauce, like a curry or something like that, they stay juicier. If you use white meat chicken, use breast meat, I find it dries out.
Yeah, it's not as tasty, I don't think.
No. But then there are people in the world who will not eat anything but white meat, and that's why Swiss Chalet charges you $1.50 extra if you want.
It's more than $1.50 extra.
Is it more than
$1.50
$1.50
it's
now?
quite a bit more.
Whoa. You can see how long it's been since I've had Swiss Chalet. Well, anyways. So, yep. This is really not cooking. He's just prepping the chicken thighs, skinning them, taking out the bone, and then we'll freeze them, and they'll be ready to go into something that we'll make at some future date. Okay, so if you didn't know how to debone a chicken thigh, you do now. So, what's coming up? Well, as I mentioned when I showed you the little trophy thing here, that we were in Ultimate Sewing the other day getting my fabric that I've already shown you, that one of the people that works there, Donna, asked me if I would be willing to help out again, or we'd be willing to help out again with a retreat. They haven't had a retreat since, the last one was in the first part of March 2020, and that was the last time they had a retreat. So they're planning for 2022, March of 2022. Hopefully it will go. But of course they are quite aware of the protocols for COVID, and we'll see what it's like. But you got to plan these things in advance because they just can't be done the night before. So we got asked again to help out with that. So I am working on plans for this retreat as if it was going to happen. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. And yeah, kind of excited about it. Be nice to be able to go to a retreat again, and we got some fun things planned. We learned from the last time. We made a few mistakes. When you do it the first time, you always make a few mistakes, and so I'm going to correct those mistakes and make it even better than the last time. Last time it worked pretty good, but there's always room for improvement, so that's what I'm going to do. So that I'm working on this week. And anything else exciting happening this week? Let's see. Oh, I forgot. Last week I went to the dentist. Yay, I had my teeth cleaned. I'm telling you, they have got a thing at this dentist. They can always find things they can do. My teeth are in really great shape. Okay, there are problems, all right? Because these teeth are 64 years old. But they're mine, and they're there, and they're in great shape because I look after my teeth. And I do that because my parents both had horrible teeth. And I don't want to be like them. And you go and see my mother and she smiles. This is jaws of death. Really. I don't like going to the dentist, but it's a necessary evil. Getting my teeth clean doesn't hurt, but they're in there digging for gold or something. And the dental hygienist was saying, like, I go every 9 months. And she said to me, your insurance will cover you coming here every 6 months. Yeah, I'm aware of that, but I don't want to go every 6 months. And she says, some people come in every 3 and 4 months. And yeah, my insurance covers 85% of it, but dentists are not cheap. And I noticed the other day that things had gone up since the last time I was there 9 months ago. He's trying to recover his losses from COVID. I'm pretty sure of that. She also had a couple of other suggestions in there, which were more cosmetic than anything else. I said to Walter when I came home, I don't know if the dental hygienist in this office is working on commission now or what, but she was being a little aggressive about services that I could get, that kind of thing, which I'd never really had before. So I don't know, maybe I just took it the wrong way. But anyways, I went, they're cleaned, I'm great, and my next appointment's in 9 months' time. So, and something else I've almost forgot about this. I was talking about Amazon when I was talking about these plugs, right? And you know me, a day without sunshine is a day without a delivery from Amazon. So, and I'm a Prime member as well. So I got these parts and things that I ordered for my 3D printer. And the package was laying on the doorstep, as usual. In fact, the guy who delivers the stuff in this area, he's gotten wise to the Ring doorbell. He doesn't even ring the doorbell when he comes. He just tosses the package on the edge of the step and runs. Literally, runs back to his truck, kind of a thing. So there have been times I've come out, grabbed the package, and wave at him and go, thanks, kind of a thing. And he goes, as he's running to the truck. I don't know. Is he afraid of me or what? But so I picked up the package, and we'd been at the grocery store, came home, there was the package. Okay, brought it in the house, and I said to Walter, this thing feels like it's been dipped in oil. Like a clear, oily substance was all over the packaging. And it just felt icky. Also, on one side of the package, there was about a 6-inch slit in the seam of the packaging. I opened it up, and everything was there. Nothing was damaged or anything like that. But the inside of the packaging had this oily stuff on it as well. And I didn't order anything that was, sitting in any kind of fluid whatsoever. So I thought, I'm going to let Amazon know about this. Now, here's a little known fact. There's a chat, online chat for Amazon. If you have a complaint or a query, you can go to it. But they don't advertise it. And it's not easy to find. You have to dig through a lot of different menus and different things to find it. And actually, right now, I couldn't even tell you how to go about doing it because I don't remember how to do it. Because I've only used it a couple of times. But it is there. Okay, and it has, I think if you go into customer support, but go to the bottom of an Amazon page, like right to the bottom, you'll find customer support. And then there's a couple of other little menu things, and I think within that there's buried contact, and then you can find this chat thing, and you'll get a live person on there. And I love when I'm making a complaint about something, I love it when they have a chat, because I don't have to listen to or try to fight my way through an accent if the person has a heavy accent. You know what I mean. So anyways, this is a bit of a long story, so I'm going to condense it right down. I thought they should know about the problem I had, like what happened with this package. It wasn't really a problem, but it was a mystery. So I got somebody on there. I told them what I just told you about the oily package and the whole bit. And they said, okay, thank you for letting us know. I didn't ask them for anything. I wasn't looking for compensation because nothing was broken. Everything was there. It was just a bit of an annoyance. But Amazon's always talking about they want to know about, they have surveys and things like that, knowing for you to tell them how you felt about their service and things like that. So I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt that they genuinely want to know how they can improve the service. So I told the guy about this problem, and he said, okay, he would certainly bring that to the attention of the logistics team. And then for some reason, something went through my head, and I went, okay. And I wrote, how will I know that this has gone to the logistics team? In other words, what I was saying is, yeah, you're just paying me lip service, right? This will go nowhere. He came right back at me and says, I can connect you right now with somebody in the logistics team if you wish. And I said, that would be great. Thanks. So I got another person. Within seconds, I got another person on there. They reviewed what I'd already, my conversation I'd already had with the other person. I did not have to repeat myself. That was nice. That was nice. That's efficient. And they said, yeah, okay, well, they would put me in contact with a delivery team administrator or something like this. I said, sure, okay. I went through 4 different people. It finally went up a level. I didn't ask for this. They volunteered all of this for me. And so the last person I spoke to said to me right off the bat, so sorry that you had this problem and everything. We would like to issue you a $10 credit on your account. I didn't ask for that, but I didn't refuse it either. Okay? And here's why I didn't refuse it. If this had been a small mom and pop store and they offered that to me, I mean, I'm not out of pocket on this or anything like that. Nothing was damaged. I wouldn't take it from a mom and pop one because they're a mom and pop store. They're small. But Amazon is a multi-billion-dollar corporation. And they're offering it. I'm taking it. I certainly will be using it because I'm sure I will have more things I'll be ordering from Amazon. So I said, well, that's great. Thank you for that. Now, that also says that they are, that's good customer relations, okay, from a big corporation. But they said, too, can you take a picture of the packaging and send it to us? Because we'd like to send this back to the logistics team for this. I said, sure. So I pulled the packaging out of the garbage. I took 2 pictures of it. I took a picture of it showing the label. You know how a sticky label on things, if it gets something wet or oily, like it will become translucent and start to peel up? Well, that's exactly what this label looked like. So I took a picture of that, and I took a picture of the hole in the seam of the packaging. And so, yeah, I got a $10 credit. That's great. Now, Walter did say to me, like, the mystery to me was, though, I can understand if something spilled in the truck or the delivery truck and it got onto the outside of the package. Okay. But I couldn't understand how it got on the inside as well. Now, yes, there was a hole in the bag, but it was in the seam, and the seam was not sealed, but, it wasn't like a gaping hole, at least not when I got it. So I'm trying to figure out how, and it was coated. It was all coated on the inside. Walter says, well, it's just spilled on the package and went through. And I said, but the packaging is plastic. He says, no. He says, it looks like it's waterproof and, fluid proof, but it's not. Because he's had packages and they've thrown them on the step and it's been raining and, the water's gone through the packaging. So, okay, whatever. It's a mystery. But anyways, I thought I should let them know. I wasn't really complaining. It was more information. I got a $10 credit out of it. So, bonus. Okay, so that's about it for this week. So I hope the sound is better. I hope you find the sound better. And you know what I said about comments, but I still do appreciate nice comments as well. If you want to be interviewed, let me know. And I hope you have a good week. And I hope you're healthy and happy and safe and all that good stuff out there. And we'll see you for the next one next Monday. Bye for now.